Or concerns and criticisms for the board to address? You can email the front desk. It's frontdesk@hijrah.org if you have any questions or concerns or issues. I think it's also important to understand what the role of the different bodies are in the masjid. So if you have a board, what is the role of the board? The role of the board is to do their part of the full-time hiring. So if there is a full-time position that opens, the board plays a role in the interview process in hiring people who are full-time. They approve budgets. So basically as a director, whether it be myself or whether it be youth or whether it be outreach, we submit a budget at the beginning of the year or at the end of the fiscal year for the following year. Then that is given to the board, and then the board looks at the requests that we've made for the amount of money that we're asking for, and then they'll say yes or no, and then they'll be back and forth. If there are any changes that need to be made to the bylaws, if there are any discussions that need to happen in terms of the direction of the institution, those are all board issues. But if I want a program, if I think the bathrooms need to be cleaned, if I have a problem with the quality of the food, if I would like to start a social program, if I think that there needs to be a class on a specific subject or issue, this has nothing to do with the board. Right? The board, they don't say anything about that. This is all of the executive team. So it's going to either be myself, it's going to be either Imam Naeem, or it's going to be Muhammad Auda. These are the people who are in charge of the day-to-day. So, and if you have an issue like that, you could just go, again, email frontdesk@hijrah.org. The nice thing about that is if it is a board issue, they'll send it to the board. And if it's an issue that has to do with youth, it'll go to Muhammad Auda. If it's a education issue, it'll come to me. If it has to do with like the weekend school, it'll go to Nasima. So it'll be directed in the way that it wants to go. But like I said, I think it's very important for us to understand who does what. Our first knee-jerk reaction is like, oh, for example, the khutbah wasn't good today, I want to talk to the board. The board's not in charge of the khutbah, right? This is something that you would come and talk to me about, or you would go talk to Samir about. Or it's like, oh, how come there's no soccer program for the kids? For example, it's like, well, that has nothing to do with the board. You would go and talk to the youth director. How come we're not working with the church across the street, for example? Well, it has nothing to do with the board. You would have to go talk to Imam Naeem about that. So I think it's important for us to understand who does what, and then it becomes a lot easier to direct some of these questions. There's also what's today, the 9th? Yeah, today's the 9th. There's a town hall tomorrow, so that's an opportunity for everybody. If you haven't met the board, you can come tomorrow, inshallah. We have the town hall then. After attending many lectures about the barzakh, I learned how there are so many small sins that maybe we do not know and affect us. How should we go about this? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says and He tells us, right, in Surah Al-Baqarah, رَبَّنَا لَا تُؤَاخِذْنَا إِن نَسِينَا أَوْ أَخْطَأْنَا, right? Ya Allah, don't hold us accountable for that which we don't know. Don't hold us accountable for that which we have made mistakes in. Don't hold us accountable for those things. Overlook those things. So yeah, we do make a lot of mistakes. So I think making regular istighfar is an important part of our journey to forgiveness with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and seeking knowledge. I think it's really important for us to start learning about the different sins and the different deeds we can do to protect ourselves from that. What is a way to know if something is actually constituted as backbiting or not? Because I heard we are allowed to voice opinions about public actions. Yes, if something is done publicly, you're allowed to share your feelings about that. So, for example, if I get up on the minbar and I say something like, I make a mistake and I misquote a hadith, and then people are talking amongst each other and they're like, hey man, I think Imam Farhan, he said that, and I think he made a mistake in how he quoted that hadith. This is not backbiting. And it doesn't matter how I feel, right? Whether I'm upset or I'm happy about it, this is not considered backbiting at all. But if you went away and you were like, oh, I think Imam Farhan is silly, right? Now you're ridiculing and now you're making fun. This would be considered backbiting. I think that's something that's important. How I feel about something is not an expression about that person, even if the other person doesn't like it. And if people are doing things publicly, like if there's a public talk, if somebody has a business, if somebody's offering a service, right, this is something that is done publicly, then it is allowed to be discussed in the public sphere. It's allowed to be discussed in the public sector. The other problem that I think that people don't like talking about this is ghiba, right? Ghiba is talking about someone behind their back. The other problem we have is namima, and this is something that we talk less about. Is we're like, oh, did you hear what happened to so and so? Oh, do you know that so and so got divorced? Oh, did you hear that this and that? These are things we should be avoiding as well, right? It's not just backbiting. We should also avoid like telling things about people. Oh, did you hear so and so lost his job? Right? These things, it's not beneficial, and all you're doing is just talking about the other person. Now, if my intention is that I'm going to go and I tell Saifuddin, I was like, hey, so and so lost his job, and my intention is because I know Saifuddin can help him find a job, that's fine, right? This is not namima. I'm trying to help him. But it's very different to be like, oh man, you know he lost his job? And that's it. And just stop the conversation there. This is just namima. I'm just tale carrying and I'm not benefiting anybody from that. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from both.